Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. We are living in a time where anti-Semitism is nebach growing, and Yidden throughout many cities and many countries are suffering from anti-Semitism. And the question is, what does this stem from? Where does it come from? And how do we challenge it? How do we stand up against it? This question is not a new question. This is a question that's throughout the generations. As we know what the famous statement in the Haggadah, Shebechol dar v'dar oimdim aleinu l'chalasenu, that throughout all the generations there was anti-Semitism, there was goyim trying to harm us, and Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyodam, the Eibishter stood for us and saved us from their hands. But really, it stems from what we could find a pasuk in the Chumash. The pasuk is very well known to us because we say it quite often. We say it every time we open up the Aron Kodesh. The pasuk says in Parshas Bahaloischa, Vayihi ben Soya Aron, and when the ark would journey, when the Aron would journey, Vayomer Moshe would say, Kuma Hashem, arise Hashem, v'yafutzu oivecha, and your foes shall be scattered. V'yanusu misanecha mipanecha, and those who hate you should flee from before you. That's what the Moshe Rabbeinu said. Kuma Hashem v'yafutzu oivecha. Let your enemies, your oivecha, and your foes run away, scatter. And the question is obvious: who is Moshe Rabbeinu referring to as Hashem's enemies? Who are Hashem's enemies? So Rashi says a very powerful statement. Says Rashi, Misanecha, who are Hashem's enemies? Elu Soinei Yisrael. Those who hate the Jews are hating Hashem. Shekol HaSoinei Es Yisrael. Because if anybody shows an act of sin, of hatred towards Jews, Soinei Es Mi Sha'amar V'hoya Olam. In reality, he really hates Hashem, the one who said and the world was created. So Misanecha, Oivecha, they don't only hate the Jews, they really hate you, Hashem. So what happens is, when a guy walks in the street, Rashi is telling us that the Jew represents Hashem. We are Hashem's people. You have hundreds of different explanations people give you. Oh, they're jealous of our accomplishments in finance, our accomplishments in the world, in all physical and all gashmistic matters. No. That's not the reason of the anti-Semitism. The anti-Semitism is what Rashi says. We represent Hashem. We are Hashem's people. When the Gentile looks at a Jew, he sees Hashem. And that image is not always attractive to him. And that's why he finds a way to let out his anger against the Jew. So what is the responsibility of a Jew? The responsibility of a Jew, every Jew walking in the street, is to know, even if I don't feel it, I don't feel myself yet, how I represent Hashem, you should know to the guy looking at you, lahavdil, he sees Hashem in you. And if he's not happy, sometimes he's not happy with what he sees, because he's disappointed with Hashem, he lets it out on the Jew. We find this in the story of the Megillah, Megillas Esther, a very funny pasuk. When Haman starts falling, so he comes home and everything was going well. He had everything. He even had a signed paper that his plan should be fulfilled. All well. But one time, Achashverosh told him, you have to do so-and-so for Mordechai, and things were starting to fall. So he comes home and speaks to his wife and kids and tells them what's going on. So listen to a very funny pasuk. His wife says to him, Im Mizera HaYehudim, if this man Mordechai is from the Jewish people that you began to fall, your history. Excuse me, what do you mean, Im Mizera HaYehudim? If he's from those chosen people, from the Jewish people. He obviously is. Until now you didn't know he was one of the Jews. What's this Im? So one of the Mefarshim says that until then, Haman and all his people they use the title Yehudi, Jew, as a derogatory term. Hey, Jew boy. It's pure flat-out anti-Semitism, flat-out hatred, flat-out mockery of Jews. So they use that title Yehudi as a joke. The Jew boy, the Jew boy. So the wife tells him, if you see that those people who you use the title Jew boy as a fun, as a slang, as a bad thing, as a low thing, and they stood up, and they have the power, and things are working their way, you should know there's no way to challenge them. So what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is to act loud and clear how a Yehudi acts. And how a Yid is supposed to act. A Yehudi's kaifer is Moida b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, thanking Hashem, Shem Shemayim Shagir B'Fiv, more Hashem, more revelation of godliness, and overshadows them with this beautiful light of Kedusha. That is the best way to overcome the anti-Semitism.